People are buzzing. But he stood up and thought he should go. Photography is bad. God is so black this time. But they don't make people like it. When she turns her head. Suddenly, the photographer stopped him laughing. Startled her. Lin Zhu said, "I just came to see the photographer. I didn't even know you were involved." I heard that, the photographer pointed out. "Go back and watch." "It makes me sick," he replied. "I see it's not fun here. So I want to go." The photographer laughed and said yes. "Let me show you this treasure." He said he took her hand and gave it to her. "The devil said this for you." He stood up in surprise and asked if he was a goblin. The photographer explained that this is love. Snow Queen. I asked in a sweat. Feng Snow Queen, rank Black Kim Sao. Where did you get it? He said it took a lot of work. This is not love, normal Snow Queen. You fit in and you'll know. After the fusion must slowly foster it. Don't he learn what they eat? What does love Lin strengthen knitting something? Death is hard to understand. Why did you give me your tiger? No need to use Sao. I close my face to death. And said with a warm smile, I told you because I like you. This word made Ipkai so stunned that he quickly refused. The more we don't need. The photographer immediately folded his hands. But this love does not suit me. You are the snow. It doesn't suit you very well. As if you owe me a debt of gratitude. Just take it. There are still things to ask for your help. The red face said, I am not able to help you. He said, of course there is. You are the owner's daughter. The little princess of Kwang Wei. I don't know how many people want you to help them. She nodded and said that. But you can't make me do bad things. The mayor confirmed that, of course. I am an honest person, and I see that. Laughing out loud, haha, full of fun. He looked at the spirit in his hand. Okay, the Snow Queen is now mine. I also want to see what's special about it. I owe you a favor. See you later. She laughed and left. It's embarrassing to go in the wrong direction. Hurry up and run back. The photographer also died. A few days after the shooting. It spread around every corner. On the side of the gods. Now everyone in the room is talking. I can't believe that photographer has such a talent. You can beat the whole underdog. Another name says heaven. Then this time, your face is blooming. I can't believe it, more so because to protect the environment. The owner is also. Suddenly, now the judge here is startled with horror. The door is open, the owner is out. A bearded old man is the one who appears. Just walking and wondering, IP where, what did your boss finally do to break through? This retreat. The Red Cross was unable to break through. During the period of his retreat. God of the world. On the contrary, a lot has happened. The judge asked the judge. I leave everything of the family to you. The result is now you. It's for us and heaven. Become water fire. It's hard to bet with a child. And you dare to throw out 4,005,000. Deep pink body. How many knitting pills can you buy for 4,005,000? How many kids can you nurture? The judge slammed his head and shouted. Please forgive our sins. It's 1,000 times unimaginable. That photographer's 13 years old. However, he has reached the 6th level of gold. Sometimes they get fooled by them. Dear Lord, please respect my love. He has been devoted to the family for so long. But shut up. Your authority, but it is the deacon. According to the rule of 7, such blame should be guilty of what? It makes the authorities terrified. He replied, the punishment is punishment. The cold pink judge said, love, you are the head of the family. For the family, there was a lot of work. I have temporarily abandoned you. But you have to make atonement. The judge hurriedly said that as long as the owner assigned to the mountain into the sea of fire, I decided not to. The judge said, well, I want you to lead Theo, who went to deal with the Kier photographer. Listening to the photographer startled him. As a precaution after the game, the dark society will be detrimental to the regent. The owner sent a guard. Extremely tight. Diary with his sister. They all came to the capital. The jury said no problem. He'll have to get out sooner or later. The judge has my orders. Please follow the instructions of the owner. The judge reminded the jury. Don't give me 7 hopes. If you can win, I will take you out first. The council will declare that you are to assume the office of consul. Meanwhile, Li's side is now. He's with the dance. Sano led him into the capital. Look at the beautiful scenery ahead. To be a stupid photographer. He and Zhao Yu were sitting in a garden. Because this place is safe. Those guys at the dark society. For fear of your harm. Every day and night, I try to kill you. The dancer was afraid to shout. She laughed and told me not to be afraid. With you here, you don't have to be afraid. Yes, my daughter. The owner is also my son. Hearing this makes the dance frown. Photographer, 1 hour, he told me to just practice. That's the most important thing. That's why you brought me here. You also need to make an effort. I want to deal with the Holy Family. It's based on strength. It's not enough right now. There's also the divine. I stayed in school because of it. After school, you can think of a way to get there. He told the photographer to start practicing. The girl agreed. Fast 4 days go by. The photographer who kept practicing suddenly woke up. The energy is overflowing. He's gone up to silver level 3. I think we still need to strengthen our power. I don't practice soul force anymore. So it's been days. But the dead have not come looking for me. Maybe it's because girls have thin skin. Thinking of this, he laughed stupidly. He called out to Zhao Yu, who was sitting on the roof. You're looking for my son. Do it yourself for good. The dancer nodded in agreement. The photographer went to the door. Immediately use stealth tactics that overcome. Like the wind. Immediately past the doorkeeper. But he still feels something. Then I looked for. Make the photographer think. Stealth skills are not yet fully mastered. Even the golden martial artist can feel it. If you are Black Kim or a fake. He claims to have discovered me. I thought he just rushed away. To the room of death in the capital. Regeneration is back to normal. I thought I had heard death speak before. This place must be her home. Surprise photographer, immediately silly person. When you see the ice, it's very powerful. Behind the trees. When you look at it, you realize that it is death. Are focusing on doing the exercises. With the air of love spirit wind snow queen emits. The photographer's face was full of surprise, and he stared. I also realized that someone, but rushed to recover resources. Then ask who. She was startled to see the photographer coming. Ask why you came here. The photographer said Dante come to visit me for a walk. But my garden is also very large. I must be lonely. Do you want me to stay with you? It makes the red face say no need. And then she just looked down. The body is now just wrapped in a thin towel. It makes death scream. Turn your head. Make the photographer stupid big hand. He quickly turned around and said he could. It's not the first time I've seen. The village said not to go back. Otherwise, we will. I'll never let you go. She said, let me get dressed. The photographer nodded in agreement and asked if he was finished. But forever, death is not over. Make the photographer wait forever. Wait till the sun is about to set. Then death appeared and finished. You can come back. He also turned his head and looked. Seemed to be immobilized by her beauty. Make the boy's heart flutter. Moved by the girl in front of me. Suddenly died stomping his feet to protect the photographer. I remember today well. I will definitely find you to account for. Vietnamese smile high. Don't be angry. I want to reclaim a debt of gratitude. Without me before you. She's angry and says it's basically two different things. Of course, I will repay your kindness. But talk about this. Suddenly, the photographer laughed at him. He, undressing, revealing six-pack body full of toned. That said, look at me a little. Make her hurry to cover with her hands. But my eyes like to look. Make the photographer laugh. How refreshing. Suddenly, someone came calling. When she heard the call, she realized that her father had come. It startled the photographer to tell me to leave. Use invisibility immediately, but quickly darted away. The woman standing next to him also opened her mouth in wonder. When the owner comes, then the photographer has disappeared 01 trace. He came to ask me how bad my face was, how sick I was. He laughed and said no. I'm practicing. My eyes are full of worry in America. Where did the photographer hide? Make the owner realize there's something wrong. He feels the anger of others. Death has not yet rebutted. Then he delivered a powerful blockade. It's quickly surrounding this area. With the glance of his master, he held his hand in the air. Suddenly, the photographer was caught. That appeared before his eyes with his bare body. This situation, it's made the air suddenly awkward. The photographer saw that he had been caught. I think it's not over. Meanwhile, the owner looked at his naked body. It's full of discomfort. Immediately mad, that brings the photographer straight up into the air. Made him startle and scream. One side is in a hurry. Dante, wait. He immediately threw him straight to the ground. The rock below also cracked. I looked at her body when she was injured. It makes death panic. I came to ask you why. Help him up. She turned to blame as Master Cha. Why do you want to hurt people like that? He's my friend. Not a stranger. Listen to the two words friend that make the host's blood boil. The Buddha then pushed Van Ra to his knees. It is said that the Lord is the Lord. The owner laughed. The genius we've been protecting for so long. Turns out it's your uncle. I glared my eyes and asked, because of SAO, you showed up in my daughter's hospital again. She was sweating out all over the place. It's just getting lost. We were also classmates before. I know you are in this place. That's why I wanted to visit. When it comes to getting lost, the owner knows that it is bad. Then use the gas to blow him up. He turned to look at the dead. You really made me 7. I didn't know you could do that kind of thing. To ruin the family style like this. The photographer now hugs back. I came here by myself. It has nothing to do with death. My father really made a mistake. Please listen to me explain that I am. But he's twisted. Let him say another word. I glared one eye. The glass was hit directly against the wall. Full of pain. The gas master burst out growling. Just got a little credit. That dared to rebel in my master's palace. My father doesn't seem to forgive me. Death rushed to scream. Now the owner is going up. Claims to have ruined the reputation of the lightning. I still want to run SAO. Suddenly, the chief was killed first. Support for photographer. She's in love with the spirit, so she can stop this blow. The owner's resources are too strong. As if to blow her spirit away. The owner here finds it very annoying. He said it was really big. Dare to oppose even your father. He shouted out of the way. I was amazed to think about doing it. Surprise! The owner immediately burst a bright force. Extremely hegemonic grain of rice. Tears rolled down my face, crying, Father. He didn't really do anything. Please forgive him. Please don't hurt him. He wants to be punished. Please punish me. They run to call death. The Lord is asking you to say it again. Look, he's a little surprised. Behind her, a pair of blue wings appeared. It turns out that those wings are due to regurgitation. Look at the girl he loves. Crying and crying, please make the photographer can't hold it anymore. He said stay away. Death and so on. Looking straight at the owner, I salute you as the father of death. And so I respect you. I thought I was afraid of you. This extravagant word makes the owner of the. Hurry and wipe away your tears. Stop your hands, please. As the angry photographer said not to distinguish right from wrong. That was arbitrarily offered. Do you really think about the feeling of the strium? Outside of practicing Ra, have you ever cared about me? How lonely she is, do you understand? He didn't have any close friends at school. When in the government, the owner doesn't care about the parents. You and IP put it back on. Just put your head to work. Tears rolled down my face and I screamed, don't talk anymore. But he kept talking. Death and I are just close friends. Have you ever thought about how I feel? What you care about. It's just the name of the family. The owner heard that the blood boils well. That makes sense. And so he's waving his hand and squeezing the austerity. Made him fall down the beam and bleed out his mouth. The owner asked, broke into my daughter's residence. And yet dare to be here. You're tired of living, aren't you? And still stand up and say it out loud. What not to dare. So the owner kept torturing him ashore. Down in the field, but he's still screaming. Tell me I'm not afraid of you. Just landed on the ground. Again be the owner for the slap to the jaw. Fall straight into the wall, although welding striker is beaten for deformation. But still, the photographer spoke up worthy of death. He's just a black gold-loving priest. If you give me one more year. The old man asked coldly for a year. What if I give you another year? He confirmed the statement. I will definitely be able to defeat you. That makes the owner a little surprised. That's right to say it without shame. Do you think that? It is already very beneficial to have the transformative power. But the photographer said coldly, now we can risk our lives too. Use your soul to fight a battle. Look at the crazy face of the photographer right now. The owner took a breath and agreed. I also want to see if it's a year away. You'll be able to do it. What if you can really beat me? Then we'll have nothing more to say. I firmly believe that 1 year is enough. It only takes a year. I will definitely be able to defeat it gently. The annoyed boss glared at him. That the photographer continues to be knocked against the wall. Then he pointed to Tay. Don't forget what you said. Then I turned to death and you too. Within a year, if you do not reach the golden level, don't even dream of seeing him again. Pink breathing photography box reply, rest assured, I will definitely say it can be done. I ran to worry and called the photographer. The angry owner turned and left. When you walk in, you will see your face. Let me remind you to take action. It's too heavy to become a master. It is the practice of our association. Others may not know. But don't you know? There is still a priest behind him. The owner replied, of course, I know. If it was someone else, he would be dead by now. The cold boss said it was ridiculous. Sub-name, that death was also picked up by my own hand. She said I can't believe it. Is that his martial arts skills are so amazing? The owner said power is not bad. It's just too stubborn. He still has a lot of good medicine in his hands. I don't know the future of Kwong Wei. You have to rely on him. I don't know what's in his head. I hope I have a little bravery that has gone everywhere. Only 13 years old, but dare to rage in the capital of the owner. Ancient inflammation contribute. I think the lady also seems to. I love this photographer. 13 years old is not young. I remember when I was that age. I already have a wife and children. H-bar master, answer this subtitle. It's not just about making fun of girls alone. We don't know for what. But he is still alive because he is like that. She asked the heroes who love women. But if not, why would you throw him out, or why? The owner said I brought him here. If you kick him out now. I didn't hit myself in the face. I also agree with this. Laugh out loud. Haha, the road is a big city. And I ended up in front of a boy. The owner replied, it's all because of the glory. On the photographic side, he is standing at the door of the room of death. Call this, she said. I hope you have been resting in my room for so long. It's time to go back. The photographer replied, I haven't recovered yet. So I'll visit you tomorrow. But Death objected. They said they can't come tomorrow either. Make the photographer full of excuses to ask. Then the day after. Death refused to say that it was not possible. They both let out a helpless sigh. The two old men are still walking around talking. The owner asked, that's right, have you ever heard of the unified spirit Dharma? She shook her head, I don't know. According to what the boy said. Then when he practices the soul-converging Dharma, you will definitely be able to beat me. But the side effects are also huge. It's a trick. It will defeat the enemy if there is. You have to ask the president for help. A hand to help me get more information out of his mouth. Neck inflammation amazingly asked. Maybe something happened to the owner. You need to use this technique. But it's a very risky thing to do. The owner shook his head and said no. Of course, I won't use it arbitrarily. It's just a precaution, the dark society. It's become more and more unbearable lately. Neck inflammation surprisingly asked. Maybe not. Any news from the epididymis or SAO? The owner nodded. Confirmation. They want to attract animals to attack Guanghui City. Hearing this news makes her itchy and she's terrified. The next day, the rebels also came to the capital to visit him. The photographer was surprised to ask why you were here. That's a compliment for 6 adventurers. Brother chasing IP to van. And Theo goes to people's homes. I sat down with my head 6 and asked, I heard that he has defeated the Holy Family. SAO now shows such power. Is it really good? He said before that his strength was too weak. You can work modestly. But now we are able to merge the spirit. If you're going to face the dark society, you'll still be able to protect your life. At the right time, you can give God a city. It's so exhilarating. Laughing Park, Trach, haha. Here it is, but it's a big one. It's just that. But now I'm really angry with them. If only for personal gain. The choice to confront their families. It doesn't seem very wise. More than that, the Holy Family. It is also the power. The core of our city. 6 speak up and leave. Based on the nature of the gods. I'll never let you go for the photographer. Laughing softly, he replied, no. Look at the 2 friends in front of you. He thinks of the image of his past life. They live and die with you. The last breath. Immediately said, no matter what, I will play with them until the end. Because there's a couple of things. There is no way I can forgive them. In the future, one side must die. It's not as simple as, not about martial arts. Hearing this made them all silent. 6 adventurers laugh out loud. Ha ha ha, SAO, suddenly become so serious. Why? It's not just a world. There's nothing to worry about. 6 adamant, because we're still here. The photographer happily nodded and said that he was a good brother. After that, the male guards were joking happily. 6 people here told the photographer, right. Discontinue children, you've entered the sacred heavens. Do you know this? The photographer was surprised to ask, why did she run there again? I didn't even say a word to my friends. 6 adventure, you've been running from here to there lately. Where can I find it? The photographer was stunned. Anti-Chin ponder. I heard that the sky in the sky, it can cause a lot of damage. For the soul. It's really hard to be assured. At the same time, I want to go to heaven. So let's go today. He said if you get out of the city. So what's your safety issue? The academy is all day away, photographer. The answer is no problem. Maybe we can dress up a little. He immediately called Nam Trong Min Chu Trong Tuan. Please help me take care of my dog. I heard that the school agreed. Don't worry, go away. Immediately put your hands on your face. It's good to use the solution. Then I have to bother you. His face immediately became someone else. It's amazing to everyone. uttered an hour. Nambao guards become more handsome. 6 amazing and bewildered adventures. I can't believe you even know this stuff. The photographer, of course, cut his hair. Tie up the gang. Of course, you have to know some tricks to be able to save lives. Then say yes. Give them love. He told me to be careful. The god of the south. Holy fire system of Chu Tuan Wall. Into Trong Min's system. And Park Trach is Min Tiger and Goblin battle system. 6 happy adventures. You might not believe it if you say it. But we've merged the spirit of love. Recently. So much training that we finally did. Reach the platinum level. That's why the old man rewarded me with a demon. Level golden. Kim loves Lin. Later, I may become an old golden spirit. Stupid photographer who tells 6 adventures. What I gave you. It's the blood of the leopard. Later even. It will even grow to the legendary level. If you don't need. Hearing this makes 6 adventures startled. Hurry up and tell them they don't need it. Laughing at the name of this fire. And then turn to Zhao Yu. I'm here to practice hard. She said, I know. The photographer quickly launched to the heavenly illusions with 2 friends. Transferring scenes on the academy side. People are wondering right now. The deputy director has been out of this for so long. I haven't seen Ra yet. Is there something wrong? EP spoke up. That's right. Even though the students are highly gifted. Will be in relatively long. But that's too long. Suddenly, someone called out to the vice president. 3 students said they wanted to find you. They're all students who just got into genius class. The latter agreed to lead in. Go to the teacher's name. He quickly led the photographers in. Happy to thank the teacher. He felt so young at such a young age. Was in genius class. Really not trivial. Hear that 6 happy adventures laughing hehe. He just went to the vice president's office here. Come in right now. The photographer changed his appearance back to the beginning. He laughed and thanked the teacher. It makes him confused. With 180-degree changing appearance of the photographer. In the blink of an eye, he immediately went into the sitting room opposite IP Heng. It startled him. He thought he was a photographer. The contest. Previously, there was only 100 points of soul power. But now it's beat the whole thing. He said, hi. The minister said that Vice President IP Deep visited. I want to go to heaven. Is that okay? He said, of course you can. Even in genius class, there is no student stronger than you. Thanks for saying I want to go there now. IP happily agreed, no problem. On the way leading the photographers inside, he said he's been fishing for so long. Without any movement. Go in and see where it is. IP said come in. The photographer looked to agree. I turned to 2 friends who told me to come in. You 2 stand there waiting for me. Then, he hurried straight into the heavenly realm. The dog seems a little worried. I don't know if it's dangerous anymore. The 6-year-old says you think a lot. All the geniuses who have entered the divine realm. There is no such thing as a photographer. Zach also agreed. 6 recommended adventures. If you have time to worry, then you can love the spirit. I can't wait. I want to see how strong my leopard chain is. The guy standing next to me also agreed. I know how to fight when I look up. Every student is so good. Here, the photographer is now inside. And he says that's what Ra is. I've never been there before. Then look at the spiral hallway that's full of wonder. I told you this is magic. Suddenly at his feet came a light. Gradually cover the photographer's body. In the blink of an eye, it's as if space is being moved somewhere else. The photographer looked like a tree at the surrounding landscape. And then, space keeps moving. It made him sweat. What is going on, my soul? In the blink of an eye, he reappeared in the forest. He feels the soul's power growing rapidly. Deep thought, high soul winked and pulled out into 3 parts. This is going too far. In front of him, blurry. I can see the shadow of stop. Suddenly, a flash of light. The photographer sat down on the ground. The photographer gathered his energy to think. High soul expanded too quickly. We need to strengthen it first. This place is a holy place. To cultivate soul power, only a genius student can stand it. The speed increases so sharply. Tiger, panda, and love photos are also on the rise. Suddenly, a voice came to ask the boy, how do you unite the 2 spirits? Realize that there is a soul watching me. He asked who you were. He laughed and told me to answer first. I will tell you. He said, because we practice special techniques. Why? He was surprised to ask the miracle. What is the law? The photographer said Sao asked again. You still haven't answered my question. It's rude. The soul heard that, growling furiously. Kid, you can find me in the spirit world. Sao, I've been sleeping in this holy place for hundreds of years. I've also met countless talented people. Although not bad, but no AI can make us keep an eye. But you and the lady over there aren't bad. But your grace is higher. These redundant words make the photographer depressed. The soul continues. I looked at you today. I will take you as a disciple. Listen to this. It makes the photographer look at you. It also makes the soul weak. Say you can't put your head down. The old man is very tolerant. Makes the bloody photographer scream. He asked me if I would accept him as a monk for as long as I could. Where are you, the natural AI? I want to be a teacher. Is it because we are rich? The soul sighed and looked at the photographer unpleasantly. An overbearing boy. Do you know who I am? He asked me 3 times. You didn't say the old man advertised that year. The dark age is coming. Our humanity is facing the great catastrophe of destruction. The year of love. We've led tens of thousands of people alive to Quang Wi City and prevent the attack of the animal. I am one of the 5, the great ancestor of Quang Wi. IP Tung, how did the founder of the snow house? When I was alive, I sealed my soul in the sky. This holy scene to protect Quang Wi City. In this way, the city was not invaded. Listen to this snacky arsum. Surprising photographer. Hurry up with hands. Turns out to be the original master of the 7 feasts. But I have no interest in becoming your disciple. The enraged devil asked what the twist was. Do you know? Is how you're giving up a wonderful opportunity. There is no guidance. You will have the opportunity to become a great teacher. It doesn't cost a penny. As the photographer replied, to be in love with the legendary spirit master, I can do it myself too. The hot-blooded old man said you were too proud. Crazy, you think. Love is something that only needs the lips. Dance can be practiced. To love the spirit master. Legend is the existence of the peak in this world. Unless it's a genius with super genius Ra. Otherwise, this threshold can't be reached. You know that year. How many people kneel down and be my disciple? No. In this temple, we teach only 3 students.